Hello there, Pete Brooker here. Today I'm going to explore whether James Bond, is emotionally intelligent or not. But first, I think let's have a look at the criteria of what makes somebody emotionally intelligent. And we have 9 categories in total. It's a lot of categories, okay. Yeah, let's get on with it. Number 1, being able to accept criticism and responsibility. Well, I would say Bond knows when the buck stops with him.
If we don't do this, there will be nothing left to say.
But can he accept criticism?
Because I think you're a sexist, misogynist dinosaur.
Point taken.
Point taken, and first point on the board for Bond. Number 2, being able to move on after making a mistake. Well, does Bond really make many mistakes?
Look, I made a mistake.
Not only was he able to move on from that mistake, but he went on to beat Le Chiffre, took him to the cleaners, and Bond also learned that allowing himself to be vulnerable and committing himself to someone entirely leads him wide open. And I guess this is why Craig's Bond is just a little bit, I don't know, elsewhere when it comes to getting back in the saddle.
I'm happiest in the saddle.
Right, so what was the question? Oh yeah. Can he move on from making a mistake? Well, he was plenty willing to move on and get closure in No Time to Die. Right up until the point where he got blown up. But I'm going to give Bond the benefit of the doubt on this one, and it's another point to Bond, yes. Being able to say no when you need to. Look, no one says no like Bond.
No.
And Bond can show some restraint, some of the time.
Get dressed.
And almost certainly when there's an age gap of about 30 odd years.
You get your clothes on. I'll buy you an ice cream.
But that's Pierce, Roger, George. Sean never said no, even when most of his women did say no. Danny Boy always put the mission first. And Tim, he says no when he really means yes.
I must get my cello.
No way.
But overall, Bond is capable of restraint and can say no when needed. So I'm going to say yes to Bond saying no. Being able to share your feelings with others. Well, in Casino Royale, Bond tells Vesper that she's now stripped him of all of his armor, and as a reward, she now has to go out and be the main breadwinner.
But I think that's going to have to be you, because I've no idea what an honest job is.
Bond, well, at least Daniel's Bond, I would say, is a bit of a chipped cup, and certainly a closed book after Casino Royale. And he casually discards a VHS of Vesper's interrogation. By the way, does anyone else think that VHS tape that Bond found in Mr. White's room could be Vesper just trying her hand? It's an early audition tape for some B-movie seedy erotic thriller. Think Basic Instinct, maybe 10 years too late. Lost George. George, where you gone? Come back. Come back, George. Where were we? Pierce's Bond is also closed off emotionally, and yeah, in GoldenEye, he points out to Natalia that being a cold-hearted bastard really just comes with the territory.
It's what keeps me alive.
Although that's not the real reason why I pulled this clip. Let's just dial it back a couple of seconds. Let's just look at Pierce's face. He's like, yes, that is your fanny. All right, okay, now where was I? Keep with the program, Pedro. Yes, Bond, emotions. Still with me? Fantastic, right. So it's part of the job to be emotionally closed, as M well knows.
I would ask you if you could remain emotionally detached. But I don't think that's your problem, is it, Bond?
No.
Being able to solve problems in a way that works for everyone.
I help people with problems.
Problem solver.
I'm more of a problem eliminator.
I think this is Bond's greatest attribute, I do, and I think he knows it. Bond's problem solving tends to work out best for everyone, with the exceptions of those small groups of people he either stabs, harpoons, or uses as a human shield. That aside, And sliding over to the literary Bond for a second, my favourite Bond problem solving comes in the first 100 pages of Moonraker when Bond and M enlists Bond to find out how Drax is cheating at cards and bringing the Blades Club into disrepute. My worst Bond problem solving though is in Skyfall when he gets over his skis a little bit. I mean, come on guys, he's good, but he's not fucking Rain Man, is he? But still, it's a yes from me. Now, moving on. Have empathy for other people. What is empathy? Okay, let's be clear what empathy says, what the internet says about empathy. The ability to understand and share the feelings of another. I think Bond is capable of empathy. He recognizes the motives in others, even if the audience doesn't.
I think we are the same. We both know what it feels like to have everything taken from us.
Other times he sees himself in other people. In the case of Roger, quite literally.
You're right. We are two of a kind.
And sometimes Bond doesn't need words. He can just be empathetic by tossing his hat. By the way, that hat is a goner, right? You're not getting your money back on that. That is just... She is squished, that. She is just... Yeah, destroyed. But I think Bond can also use empathy as a tool, as a weapon. He does so in Moonraker when he has to play that subliminal Jedi mind trick with Jaws, you know, convincing him that, you know, if you don't marry up to the image of Drax's utopia, then you'll be discarded. Have great listening skills. Well, Bond listens when he has to, even if he pretends that he isn't.
How long did you say the fuse was?
He knows that one of the key ingredients to being a great spy is to listen to what others have to say, because any bit of information could be crucial. But overall, I would say I don't think listening is Bond's strong suit. I mean, he doesn't even like listening to the Beatles.
That's as bad as listening to the Beatles without earmuffs.
And he certainly doesn't want to listen to people who love the sound of their own voice.
Well, get on with it then. Nothing can be as painful as listening to you talk.
And he even listens sometimes with the I can't be asked to listen to this crap look on his face. So I would argue that Bond needs to work on his listening skills, and I'm going to give him a half point. Knowing why you do the things you do. Bond does give some justification and some reasons for what he does. So I would say yes. I mean, aside from doing it for king and country.
What I did this evening was for king and country.
He is a cold-hearted bastard, and he needs to be, as he tells Vesper.
I wouldn't be very good at my job if it did.
Skyfall, he sarcastically reminds Silver that...
Don't forget my pathetic love of country.
He knows, we know. That's a yes from me. Let's get to the last one. Not being judgmental of others. Well, I would say being judgmental comes with the gig. Bond needs to profile, judge, and analyze situations and people. And only when he does so does he undress villains with his words as he kind of quietly judges them.
Not much more than a voyeur, are you?
Although my favourite is, of course, how Roger characterises Scaramanga in The Man with the Golden Gun.
There's a useful four-letter word, and you're full of it.
So after all this, do we think Bond has emotional intelligence? Why don't you let me know in the comments below?
And what do you think?
And I should say I'm going to leave a link to a Reddit thread that asks whether Bond has emotional intelligence. I did pick one comment out of that thread. It says, if James Bond was real, he would be unable to work for British intelligence because he lacks the required emotional intelligence, respect for the law, and teamwork abilities. Well, what I would say to that is Bond is perfectly fine working with a team.
We're going to finish this together.
Although he does take forever to get that line out. I mean,
You found the right decadent, corrupt Western agent as a partner.
you found the right decadent, corrupt West partner. Fucking. Can we speed this up? Can we get to the fucking end? All right. Talking about endings, I think that's it. Thanks for listening. until next time, another place.